Hello, and welcome to the fifth and final webinar on the future landscape of College Board student search. My name is Jim Rogers. I'm the Senior Vice President of Enrollment Strategy here at Carnegie, and we'll be wrapping up a five-part series with the communication plans related to College Board connections. So our goal today is to go over the last tips I have for setting up College Board connections and a timeline and some next steps as well. So as I mentioned, we're going to go through a few things. The first will be how students actually view connections and what it looks like and how it is marketed to them, as well as how you should set up your communication plans in the College Board platform, and of course, some next steps. So let's jump right in. So I thought it might be useful to actually take a look at what connections will look like from a student's view. And also keep in mind that as we will know it as connections internally, students will know connections as big future schools. So they will get an email after they've sat for any of the College Board exams, and it will encourage them to, of course, download the application. So College Board will send out a message inviting them, talking about the opportunities to learn about scholarships and colleges, and also that their scores will be available on Connections. So really the link to get them to do this is to access their scores later on, and then of course to try to get them interested in each one of your institutions. One thing that will be encouraged quite a bit when they do this is to encourage them to enable the push notifications. And again, like I mentioned, the big push is going to be score release notifications. Students are definitely going to want to know when those scores are available. So they hopefully will enable the push notifications, which will also allow them to enable information about notifications about college planning, scholarships, and of course, most importantly to all of us, messaging from each individual college and university as well. So to give you kind of some views of what it's going to look like from the student's perspective is they will get a message once they enter their text number, and it will say, get notified when your results are released, and this is where the enabled push notifications will be available to them. So when they click on that again, they will be all set up to receive a message once their scores are available, as well as any other messaging that is being sent to them. On the right, you'll see what happens once the scores come in. It's going to let the student know that their test score results are ready. And at the same time, they're going to have an interested in you section appear. And this interested in you section will have college messaging. It'll have different colleges appearing. And initially, College Board has informed us that this will be quite a random assortment of colleges initially until students start to save different institutions and messaging to their profiles. So as I mentioned, they'll be able to save it. So when students actually click on any of the institutions and read about the messaging, they'll have an opportunity to click save and either save all of the messages, one or more, or just that institution on their save list as well. And so this is the beginning of connections and starting to build out the student profiles with these schools that they're interested in. Now, setting up the communication plans, as we all know, you'll be able to actually message students directly in the Connections app from College Board. And to do this, of course, you'll have to set up a few things. So when you actually go into the platform, there'll be about 4 different sections you can access. So there'll be an institutional profile, audiences, communication plans, and analytics. So first, of course, you want to set up your profile initially. And within this profile, you'll be able to select, obviously, your institution's name, put in the contact information. You want to put a brief description of the institution. Again, think about a marketing message or something that will, in a small amount of words, will convey the type of institution you are, as well as you will be able to upload your inquiry form. You can have this link directly back to your CRM, whether it be Slate or other CRMs. You'll be able to link directly to it. So when students are interested, they will exit the app and go directly into an inquiry form and right into your CRM. Of course, you want images, and there'll be, of course, different parameters and specs, but you'll want to have a banner image, an avatar image, and a word mark image for larger appearances as well. So again, before this launches, making sure you're getting your images approved, getting your copy approved, and everything ready to add it to the site when it opens. And that will be on September 15th. As far as communication plans, we talked a lot throughout the series about audiences. And again, I like to always remind everyone what an audience is it has 3 components. It will have the cohort or the class year. You'll be able to select the 25 cohort or a combined 26-27 cohort. I mentioned this previously, but the 24 cohort will not be available in Connections because they have almost all opted into search at this time, and obviously we're into the senior cycle. So this will be for future classes. Also a geographic area. There's 29 different geographic areas to select and a score band. And you can see them from the graphic here. It's pretty easy, a drop down for each of those components, and you select as many as you have in your subscription. It'll tell you how many saved audiences are available for you, so you'll keep track of that. So if you only have 30 and you're up to 10, you know how many more you have left. And as far as the communication plans, we talked a little bit about this in previous webinars, but you'll have up to 10 communication plans you can put together on the platform. Each communication plan is eligible to have up to 12 messages. Again, start small. You don't have to build them all out at one time. You don't have to have a full 12 messages in every one, but definitely, start thinking about, a few campaigns that you want to get out to your search population. Now, you'll also notice on the screen, you'll see prospect and inquiry. You can target prospects from a search perspective, or you can push messaging directly to inquiries in hopes that they're going to apply to the institution. Now, if you already have a CRM, I would definitely not recommend using the inquiry option because your CRM should take over at that point. Once a student inquires and they go into your CRM, you should have an app generation campaign running that will pick them up. So really the focus of this, in my opinion, is really to get to those search names that have not inquired and have not opted in to try to get them to raise their hands. You'll also be able to segment further variables. So when I mentioned earlier about having 10 communication plans and you have a select number of audiences, when you go to actually build the communication plan, you can bring in the audiences that you're interested in and then further segment down to a particular graduation year, or maybe just an in-state, out-of-state campaign. Maybe you want to select a score minimum to talk about scholarships to high ability, academic ability students, or affordability for other students, or it might be honors programs or specific majors. So again, you'll be able to actually segment these down, and you can select up to 4 variables that you see on the list there. You'll also want to choose a CTA or a call to action. There'll be one for exploring more, so a link back to your college profile if a student isn't quite ready to inquire. And again, this may be something you might want to use in the initial email that goes out to have them learn a little bit more, build some brand awareness. And then later you can add the connection or the inquiry form CTA to get them to actually inquire and go right into your CRM. As you're setting all of these up as well, just like with any other drip marketing or CRM, you want to keep in mind of the day stamps. So day 0 will be the first day of the campaign. So as soon as a student enters this population, they will be sent the message that you have set up. And then you could select up to 5 days intervals, 5 or more to send out additional messaging, but no less than 5 days. All right, so for some next steps, hopefully everyone has subscribed to the 2023-24 College Board subscription plans. If you have not, you need to do that right away. Those have been opened as of September 1, and you will not be able to actually purchase any of the traditional search names or set up connections until you have done so. You'll also want to complete the College Board annual eligibility survey. These had already been sent out. And again, this is one thing that could block being able to purchase names. So if your alpha user of your search platform has not completed that, be sure that is done, or you may be blocked from purchasing names as well. You'll also want to review the Connections Toolkit, and this is on the College Board website. So if you go into College Board search and you search for Connections Toolkit, it'll bring up links and webinars and all kinds of support to help you along the way. And again, like we were mentioning today, begin building out some of your communication plans. Like I mentioned, September 15th is the opening date of Connections platform, and the messages will all begin launching on November 6th. So you can actually see we have a good couple months here, hopefully, before those messages need to be ready. But there is a graphic here to kind of keep you on track and starting to think about it now, start to build some things out, get your profile set up, get your audiences built, and also making sure you're digging through your data and making sure you understand which audiences geographically and who you're targeting with the different score bands, get all that set up. And then on the 6th of November, you'll be able to have your first messages launched to those students, and hopefully lots of inquiries will start coming in for you. So as always, I always put up our slide. We are one of the largest Slate teams at Carnegie here in the industry. And if you have Slate and you are interested in us helping you coordinate some of this or partner with you, please reach out to us and we'll be able to discuss the proposal. We have some resources here, again, as always, to learn a little bit more about how we do student search and how you can partner with us. And we wish you the best of luck with this Connections initiative. I know it's a little nerve-wracking, but you have many members of the College Board team to support you, as well as us here at Carnegie. So I thank you very much for watching this webinar, and hopefully all 5 throughout the summer. And I wish you a wonderful recruitment season.